Welcome back to Shocking Election Poll, the channel where data becomes drama, polls become shockwaves, and every election forecast tells a deeper story. Today, we bring you the full, deep, state-by-state breakdown of the 2026 Senate election forecast. Some states are predictable, some are surprising, and some are absolutely shocking. Let's begin. Republican stronghold states. No real competition. These states show almost no Democratic presence. Republicans dominate with massive numbers. Alaska. Democrats have a relatively higher 27.2%, but Senator Sullivan still leads comfortably with 72.8%. Although Alaska can occasionally show independent tendencies, the GOP advantage remains strong. Arkansas, with Democrats at only 1.5% and Senator Tom Cotton at 98.5%, Arkansas continues to be solid Republican territory. There is virtually no competitive landscape here. Florida, Democrats hold 18.6%, while Ashley Moody leads strongly at 81.4%. Florida has trended more Republican in recent cycles, and this forecast reinforces that long-term shift. Idaho, Democrats at 1.4% and Senator Risch at 98.6% show Idaho remains one of the deepest red states in America, highly stable for the GOP. Kansas, Democrats at 14.4% and Senator Marshall at 85.6%. Kansas remains Republican, though the slightly higher Democratic number indicates mild demographic changes, but not enough to shift the state. Kentucky, Stevenson holds just 3.5%, while Republican Cameron leads at 96.5%. This race is entirely in Republican control, reflecting Kentucky's long conservative history. Louisiana, Democrats are at 2.3%, while Senator Cassidy stands at 97.7%. Louisiana continues to be a secure Republican seat. Mississippi, Democrats at 3.6% versus Hyde-Smith's 96.4%. Mississippi remains deeply conservative and unlikely to change. Montana, Democrats stand at 9.9%, while Senator Daines holds 90.1%. Montana, once competitive, has been shifting red consistently over recent years. Nebraska, Osborne has 12.7%, with Ricketts leading at 87.3%. Nebraska remains reliably Republican with limited Democratic reach. Oklahoma, Democrats only at 1.6%, Mullen at 98.4%. Oklahoma continues to be one of the strongest Republican states in the nation. South Carolina, Democrats at 7.4%, Senator Lindsey Graham at 92.6%. South Carolina remains solid Republican territory with minimal competition. South Dakota, Democrats at 2.6%, Senator Rounds at 97.4%. South Dakota is not competitive and remains safely in GOP hands. Tennessee, Democrats at 1.5%, Senator Hagerty at 98.5%. Tennessee continues its strong Republican trajectory. Texas, Talarico has 25.9%, while Senator Cornyn leads at 74.1%. Texas remains Republican, but Democratic gradual growth is visible, though not enough to threaten a seat. West Virginia, Democrats at only 1.4%, Senator Capito at 98.6%. This is one of the least competitive states in America, solidly Republican. Wyoming, Democrats at 1.6%, Lummis at 98.4%. Wyoming remains the strongest GOP state in the country. Democratic stronghold states, confident and stable. These states show overwhelming Democratic advantages with no realistic Republican challenge. Colorado, Hickenlooper at 98.2% shows this is a completely safe Democratic seat with broad support. Delaware, Chris Coons leads comfortably at 96.8%. Delaware remains a strong base for Democrats. Illinois, Stratton leads with 93.3%. Illinois stays firmly Democratic, especially around urban centers. Massachusetts, Ed Markey at an impressive 98.9%, one of the bluest states in the nation. New Jersey, Booker sits at 96.4% with minimal GOP resistance. New Jersey remains a deep Democratic stronghold. New Mexico, Ben Ray Lujan leads 92.5%. Democrats continue their long-term dominance here. Oregon, Jeff Merkley at 98.2% shows complete Democratic control. Rhode Island, Senator Reid holds 97.4%. A small state, but a reliably blue one. Virginia, Mark Warner at 96.1%. Virginia continues its shift toward the Democratic side, with strong urban and suburban support. Battleground states, where the real fight is. These states are competitive, influential, and critical for Senate control. Georgia, Senator John Ossoff leads with 77% against Collins at 23%. Georgia has become a true battleground in recent years, and Democrats currently hold the advantage, but the state is known for late swings. Maine, Mills at 61.5%, Collins at 38.5%. Maine remains a competitive state because Collins has a history of pulling bipartisan support. Democrats lead, but this race cannot be ignored. Michigan, McMorrow at 58.1% and Rogers at 41.9%. Michigan leans Democratic, but is always in play due to shifting working class and suburban voters. Minnesota, Flanagan leads comfortably at 81.8%. Although considered safe, Minnesota has pockets of Republican resistance, but overall, Democrats dominate. New Hampshire, Pappas leads 71% to Sununu's 29%. Sununu is popular as a governor, but the Senate race leans clearly Democratic. Still, the state has a history of surprising results. North Carolina, Copper at 74.9% versus Whatley at 25.1%. This is a major development. Democrats rarely lead this strongly, but North Carolina often tightens as Election Day approaches. Ohio, the biggest shock, Sherrod Brown at 44.4%, while Husted leads with 55.6%. Ohio shifting red is not new, but seeing a strong Democratic incumbent trailing this much is highly significant. This is one of the races that could define Senate control. Texas, not a battleground, but high interest. Democrat James Talarico stands at 25.9%, while Republican Senator John Cornyn leads with 74.1%. In simple terms, Cornyn is safe today, but Texas is not the same Texas it was 20 years ago. Republicans still dominate. Democrats are slowly expanding their base, and the long-term future of Texas remains one of the biggest question marks in American politics. Republicans currently hold the upper hand with a 64.5% chance of winning the Senate majority. But battleground states like Georgia, Michigan, New Hampshire, and North Carolina remain critical to watch. Meanwhile, Ohio stands out as a major redshift, posing a serious challenge for Democrats. For more deep election analysis, state breakdowns, and shocking poll numbers, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. This is Shocking Election Poll, where the numbers speak louder than the noise.